Hello everyone and welcome to the E14 Toybox. I'm Rob and I'm doing something a little bit different today. Now usually it would be Rob unboxes the clicks, Rob doesn't get the clicks he wants, Rob nonetheless gets cool clicks. Today it's largely the same, but I'm going to be doing so with a box of Star Wars Destiny Way of the Force boosters. So there are 36 in total inside this box, ranging from presumably Luke Skywalker to General Grievous, Leia, Count Dooku, all sorts of crazy characters. I've made a list of the stuff I want. I'm just going to pop open the box while I tell you. So, I've picked 3 characters that I really want from this box. And those are General Grievous. I mentioned him in the intro. And he sounds like an awesome piece of kit. Obviously, part machine, he is a bit of kit. So that's always nice. Then after that, DJ, because he's also very cool. And Anakin Skywalker. Now, 2 of those out of the 3 are what's considered legendary rarity. So the likelihood of getting both in a box, let's be fair, is pretty slim. Nonetheless, I'm going to hope for it anyway, because, you know, the worst that can happen is I get some cool stuff, and we'll be all the better for it. So let's pop open these here. You'll probably see this drop through once I've done that, I would imagine, assuming it's all gravity. If it's a gravity feed truly, then this should just pop open once I see, it doesn't do that. Well, Fantasy Flight straight away, gravity, just saying, it makes things go down. God blimey, pack this in tight, maybe that bodes well. Right, there we go. So I've got my Way of the Force boosters. Let's first of all appreciate the excellent artwork on the cover. So Luke Skywalker. So got some Cassian Andor love in there as well, which is always cool. I do like me some Cassian Andor. And inside each is 5 cards and a premium dice. So let's see what's in the first one. Whoop. So my 5 cards in order. Quarrel, event. Force an opponent to choose to either lose 1 resource or discard a card from their hand. Free to play. Free to purchase anyway. Extract, event. Choose up to 3 cards in the discard pile and set them aside. 0 cost. By any means, event. Oh, it's got some one of Afra's droids. I get them mixed up, so I can't tell you which one's which. Remove a die showing a value of 2 or more, then deal 1 indirect damage to yourself. One of the little grenade symbols. Cost 1. Upgrade title, Guardian of the Wills. Exhaust this upgrade to move it to one of your characters. If that character is blue, give it 1 shield. If it's red, deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. So the little grenadey one again. It's number 68. And then the dice card belongs to a Mandalorian Super Commando, playable for 9 points. Has 5 sides on the dice. 2 range damage, 1 range damage, 2 range damage, 1 melee damage, 1 shield, and 1 shield, and then a blank one. 37, rarity wise, it's not the rarest, I'll give you that. It is a rare, but it's not the rarest, obviously, because it's a non-named character, so that's going to start you off poorly. So, 1 down, 35 to go. Alrighty. First card. 0 cost in resources, testing procedure event, activate up to 2 of your supports, then if any of those support dice just roll damage of any kind, gain 1 resource. Nice. Porgs! Nature's Charm event, reroll up to 2 dice, yours and or an opponent's. That's very cool. You can basically just reroll up to 2 dice from yourself or 1 of 2 of theirs. Nice. And it's 0 resources to activate. Partners in Crime event, Bosk! And or a Sing. Resolve any number of your dice showing a disrupt as if they were showing indirect damage or vice versa. Long-term plan. Plot card. Exhaust this plot to place 1 resource on it or to resolve 1 of your dice, increasing its value by the number of resources on this plot. And then finally, 5th Brother's Lightsaber. Where this upgrade is on 5th Brother, you can resolve this die showing a modifier as if it were not a modifier. After you resolve this die, you may deal 1 damage to a character. So he has a +1 melee, +2 melee, +3 melee, 1 shield, and a +1 resource. But if it's on the 5th Brother, these are just as if they were not modifiers. Now this one, if I remember correctly, it's number 15, And that is our first legendary. So we have one rare, one legendary so far. Pretty cool indeed. Now hopefully the fifth brother is in here somewhere to complement it, otherwise it's not as effective as it otherwise might be. So far, I think you'll agree, pretty decent haul. One rare, one legendary. Obviously, if I'm right about the idea of the legendaries being few and far between, each of these reduces my chance of getting Grievous. But alright, third one. So we have our 5 cards. Reposition event. Force an opponent to turn a die to any side, then you turn a different die to any side. No, 0 cost to acquire. Division in the Force event. Resolve one of your blue dice, then remove a die showing the same value as the die you just resolved. Alright. Resolve, sorry, not remove, then remove. Number 111. That is a common. Cocky event. Spot a yellow character to have each player choose and discard 2 cards from their hand, starting with you. So, nice. You can spot a yellow and you can get rid of a couple of cards, except you have to give up some. So, you know, in the right circumstances, definitely worth doing. Luke's Training event. Spot 2 blue characters or Luke Skywalker to play a blue ability from your hand or discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1. Very nice indeed. So if you've got blue characters, it will make your ability slightly cheaper and you can play it for a discard pile. And Luke Skywalker's Lightning Rod, number 69, an equipment card. While this upgrade is attached to Luke Skywalker, you may resolve the melee damage sides as if they were shields. So it comes with 3 of those. 1 melee, 2 melee, 2 melee, 1 shield and 1 resource and a blank side. Number 69 for the dice is a rare. So again, 2 rares and a legendary. So far, so good, I would say. Number 4. I see some sort of vehicle. Spoilers. Maybe it has spoilers, who knows. First aid, 1 resource cost, event, heal 2 damage from a red character, or 4 damage if it is for the first round of the game. Crikey, that's a powerful use if it's in the first turn. Righteous Cause event, ambush. Move 1 damage from one of your cards to another one of your cards in play of the same type. This ignores shields. Mechanical insight, sorry. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a droid or pod racer. Reveal it and add it to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in the order of your choice. Cool stuff. Climate Disruption Array. Exhaust this support to deal 2 indirect damage to each player, starting with you. Okay. 2 resources to activate that one. And then I have an Arc 170 Starfighter. 3 resources, 5 sides, 2 range damage twice, 3 indirect damage, 1 shield and 1 resources. Before this support is discarded from play, you may return it to its owner's hand. 129. So that is a rare. So what's cool is, so far, obviously, tempting fate he does, we've had 4 packs, 20 cards, 4 dice, and no doubles. I'm sure that will not be the case by the end, otherwise I'll have picked up the full set from 1 box, which is, let's be fair, unlikely at best. Particularly as there are 60 dice to be collected. So you'd need at least 2 boxes even if you were lucky enough. So, working our way through. Blaze of Glory, event. Activate one of your characters, then remove any number of an opponent's dice showing damage, that's any kind, and deal damage to that character equal to the combined value of the removed dice. No Escape event. Oh cool, it's from the Rogue One corridor scene. Play only if an opponent has no cards in their hand. Deal 2 damage to one of that opponent's characters. Wow. Quite powerful if you time it right. Prize Goods, lovely bit of Hondo Anaka. Exhaust this support on one of your characters to place 3 resources on the support or to take all resources from it. A99 Aquata Breather. Before attached character takes indirect damage, you may exhaust this upgrade to block 1 of that damage. Free to use as well. So we have a generic character, Jedi Sentinel, 10 points to use, 1 melee, 2 melee and a resource, 1 shield, 1 resource and 1 special ability. So the special ability is Deal 2 damage to a character or 3 damage instead if this character has 3 or more shields. That could be very handy again if you time that right and you're in need of it and you draw it at the right time. It could work out very well indeed. That's a rare one, so it goes on my rare side. So I'm 5 out of 5. I've got a legendary and 4 rares so far. I think that's a good ratio. 20% legendary is pretty cool. Better than I manage at any rate. Right, so this is pack number 6. So far we have 4 rares and a legendary. I have a feeling this is about to change. Machine replacement event. Play an upgrade from your hand on a character, then heal 1 damage from that character. Turn the Tide event. Oh, very nice. The best been Cloud City, sort of, I don't know what the name of the room is, but Darth Vader sucks Luke out through the window. Move all shields from an opponent's character to one of your characters. Wow. That can definitely swing things. Sticky situation event. Force an opponent to choose a die, then remove a different die. Nice. That's considering that Salacious Crumb on the side being a bit of a tool, that works quite nicely thematically. Rift Valley Dathomir. So it's a battleground card. Reveal the top card of your deck. If that card's cost is an odd number, remove a die showing a value of 2 or less. And then Count Dooku or Darth Tyrannus. 2 melee, 3 melee with a resource. 1 symbol I've not seen before. Focus. You can turn the die to a different side. 2 shields or 1 resource. After you activate this character, you may turn one of his character dice to a side showing melee damage. Turn an opponent's die showing melee damage to any side. So you can basically just disregard somebody's melee damage and put your own in. That's very cool. So he's number 1 in the set. He's a rare. Such a cool picture and such a cool card generally. So there we go. 5 rares and a legendary. Now I did say it was going to change, but obviously it was always going to by definition. It's, you know, every time I open one, it changes. So, number 7. Ammo reserves. Support. After you play this support, place 3 damage on it. Action. Exhaust this support and remove 1 damage from it to deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. 1 resource. Fond Memories. Event. Choose up to 3 cards in a player's discard pile. Place them on the bottom of their deck in the order of your choice. Set this card aside. Quell. Event. Remove all of an opponent's dice showing indirect damage. Wow. That could come in very handy indeed, especially if you're using bounty hunters. They seem to have a lot of those. Dark Ritual. Return one of your defeated characters to the game exhausted and place damage on it equal to half its health rounded down. So you can basically just resurrect somebody. So that's a 5 resource card. And then the dice card. Anakin Skywalker's Pod Racer. Ambush. So it's got 5 sides. One is Disrupt, I think. 1 Disrupt, 1 Discard, 1 Shield, 2 Shields, plus 1 Resource. 2 resources to play. After you resolve this die, you may discard the top deck of card of a deck, or if you spot Anakin Skywalker, discard a random card from an opponent's hand. Cool. So you can combine that with Anakin Skywalker quite nicely, it seems. So, Anakin Skywalker's Pod Racer, in terms of rarity, is, I believe, a rare. It is a rare, so 6 to 1 at the moment in terms of legendary to common ratio. Number 8. I was wondering if this one might show up. So, going through the cards. Well Armed Event. Choose a weapon from your hand and play it, decreasing its cost by the number of weapons on one of your characters. So if you've tanked somebody up, they're going to be better off for it, because it's going to work out slightly cheaper. Way of the Dark Event. Choose one of your defeated character's dice and roll it into your pool. Set that die aside after it is resolved or removed. Nice little bit from the Sith Code at the bottom there. I like how they all have quotes. Prize Goods. We have our first double. Exhaustive support one of your characters to place 3 resources or to take all from it. So, we have a double card. Pod Racer Betting Event. Choose a number, then re-roll one of your vehicle dice. If that die just rolled a value equal to the number you chose, gain 2 resources, or 3 resources instead if it was a pod racer. And then the fifth brother, 12 points by the looks of it, number 2 in the set, which makes him a rare. 5 sides on his dice, 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 discard, I think. I'm still, yep, discard. 1 resource, and a special ability which resolves one of your non-ability dice, blue upgrade dice, without removing it from your pool. So you can just basically get a free go. Another rare, but combines nicely with the Fifth Brother's lightsaber. Right, so I've taken a little break to tidy up a touch, and now you can see I've got my rares here, and I've got my legendary here, and all my cards stacked up. I'm going to pop my double here as well, so you can see how many doubled up I get. So so far that's 8 packs opened, and I've only doubled up once out of 40 cards. That's, you know, not bad. Let's see how we get on with number 9. So here are my cards for number 9. A Loth Wolf Bond. Give up to 2 of your blue characters 1 shield each. You may activate those characters in the order of your choice. Battleground card, Com Tower on Scarif. Resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by 1 if you spot a plot. Partners in Crime. We have another double. Event, resolve any of your dice showing a disrupt as if they were showing indirect damage. So I have 2 of those. Arena of Death on Nar Shaddaa. Claim to do indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of defeated characters you have to a maximum of 3. That can come in quite handy if you're doing badly. And then the dice card is Boss Nass. So he's a Gungan leader. After you activate a Gungan, you may deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of its character dice that just rolled a blank. So he has 4 sides to his dice, 2 indirect damage, 1 which is focus to turn it to a new side, 1 disrupt, and 1 resource. So he is I believe a rare. Soon find out. He is indeed a rare. So he goes on the rare side. Again, you know, 2 out of 45 doubled up cards. I think that's reasonable. So, my cards for number 10. Become 1. Very cool, using raised hands from the Last Jedi there. Remove one of your blue dice, then resolve one of your dice, increasing the value by the value showing on the die you just removed. Streetwise support. Before you play a yellow event, you may exhaust this support to decrease its cost by 1. Desperate Hour event. Play only if the combined remaining health of your characters is 3 or less. Ready a character. Then I've got Arena Mos Espa Tatooine. Claim that to force an opponent to choose to either lose 1 resource or have you gain 1 resource. Spotting a pod racer to force them to do both instead. So you can get 1 and they can lose 1, and there's nothing they can do about it. Mandalorian Van Braces is my dice card. 6 sides, all doing something. 1 ranged damage, 1 melee damage, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 shield, and 1 resource. Action to return this upgrade from play to its owner's hand. 143 on the collector's card set, which makes it a rare. Pop that with my other rare dice. I say, so far, 10 of them, so I'm almost a third of the way through. Not doubled that much and got some really cool stuff, especially that Fifth Brother and Lightsaber combo. Definitely nice to get those both in the same box. Number 11. Reposition event. Force an opponent to turn a die to any side, then you turn a different die to any side. That sounds like a double. Way of the Dark event. That's definitely a double. Choose one of your defeated character's dice and roll it into your pool. Set that die aside after it is resolved or removed. Desperate Hour is also a double. It was all going so well. Play if the combined remaining health of your character is 3 or less. Ready a character. Pacify event. This one's new. Remove a character die, then give this character 2 shields. Remove that character 2 shields. Nice. And Sebulba's Pod Racer. So it's a pod racer. It's got 5 sides, 1 indirect damage, 2 indirect damage and a resource, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 shield. After you resolve this die, you may deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent, or if you spot Sebulba, deal 1 damage to a character. So that one I would suspect is a rare rather than a legendary. Indeed, I am correct. That's 11 down. 25 more to go. Alright, so my cards. Become 1 event. Got this one already. Remove one of your blue dice, then resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by the value showing on the die you just removed. Freefall event. Luke from Cloud City there. Ambush. You may take 1 additional action after you play this card. Force an opponent to remove 1 of their dice. Nifty. Sticky Situation. I've doubled up on this one. Force an opponent to choose a die, then remove a different die. Risky move event. Spot a yellow character to remove a die. The next card an opponent plays this round has the ambush keyword. And then Piet. Jeremy met him. Firmus Piet. Ambitious Admiral. Number 9 points. 2 indirect damage twice. 1 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource. After you activate this character, turn any number of your vehicle and non-unique character dice to sides showing a value of 1. Number 20 in the set, which makes him a rare. So, 1/3 of the way through. Right, number 13. Right, working my way through my cards. Change of Fate event. Choose any number of dice. Force an opponent to turn each of those dice to sides of their choice. Propel event. Turn a character die to any side, turn an upgrade die to any side, turn a support die to any side. Shootout event. Turn up to 3 of an opponent's dice to sides showing damage. Seems to be any kind there. Then turn an equal number of your dice to sides showing damage. Paid off. Oh, Cad Bane. Give an opponent 2 of your resources to resolve one of their character or upgrade dice as if it were your own. And Governor Price. 5 dice, 5 side dice, 2 melee, 1 disrupt, 1 resource, and 2 special abilities. Turn another of your dice to any side. If you control the battlefield, you may resolve that die, increasing its value by 1. 10 points to play. Number 18 in the set, which makes her a rare. Now, based on this, a third of the way through, just over, 1 legendary out of a third. If they end up being sort of 3 to 1, for a consumer, kind of buying them pack by pack, that's probably about right, I guess. Alright. So, cards. Ammo reserves. I've seen this one before. After you play this support, place 3 damage on it, exhaust this support and remove damage from it to deal an indirect damage. I've seen that one before. Renewed purpose. Spot a plot to draw 3 cards. Lobart. Friend or foe. Event. Reroll the character die, then if it just rolled damage, deal 1 damage to that character. Otherwise give it 1 shield. Clandestine operation. Cassian. Spot 2 yellow characters or Cassian Andor to remove any number of your dice showing the same symbol. Then discard cards from the top of a deck equal to the number of dice you just resolved. Cool. Plo Koon Starfighter. So 5 sides, 2 range, 3 range with 1 resource, 1 disrupt, 1 shield and 1 resource. After you activate this support, you may turn one of your non-unique character dice to any side. If you spot Plo Koon, you may resolve that die. So, Plo Koon Starfighter is number 65, which makes it rare. It is entirely possible, over the course of doing this, that I'll miss a legendary that's not got a dice attached to it. So please, feel free in the comments to let me know if I've missed one. And I will feel suitably shamefaced. Number 14 just got open, so number 15, here we go. Weapon Master, sorry. Upgrade ability. Remove 1 of attached character's character or upgrade dice to turn 1 of its weapon dice to any side. Undermine. Remove up to 2 dice showing a blank. That one's definitely handy. Quell, I've seen this one. Event. Remove all of an opponent's dice showing indirect damage. Suppressive Fire. Support. After a character is activated, you may spend 1 resource and discard this support from play to remove 1 of its character dice. And Count Dooku, Darth Tyrannus. So I have my first double dice as well. So that's, you know, it is what it is. So 5 sides to recap. 2 melee, 3 melee and a resource. 1 focus, 2 shields, 1 resource. And you may turn 1 of his character dice to a side showing melee damage and turn 1 of the melee damage on another opponent's die to another side. Any side you want. So that's cool. So the double up dice can go up in the corner there. I'm doing alright, you know. It'll be easy to get down in the dumps about it, but it's 15 down. I've doubled up once on the dice and only about half a dozen or so times on the cards. First aid, event. Got this one already. Heal 2 damage from a red character or 4 damage if it's the first round of the game. Similarly, I've got this one too. Turn the tide. Move all shields from an opponent's character to one of yours. Partners in showing indirect damage, or vice versa. Gungan offensive. Turn up to 3 of your Gungan or artillery dice to sides showing damage. And Luke Skywalker's lightning rod. So I have this one, 5 sides, 3 different melees, 1, 2 and 2, a resource and a shield. While this upgrade is attached to Luke Skywalker, you may resolve the melee dice damage sides of this die as if they were shields. That would be nice if I get a Luke Skywalker to go with it, especially as he's a legendary in this set. Right, this is pack number, looks like 17. Yep, 17. Almost halfway there. Take the fight to them. Event. Resolve any number of your dice showing damage in the order of your choice. Streetwise. Support. Before you play a yellow event, you could do exhaust this support to decrease its cost by 1. Doubled up on that one. Beguile. Event. Reroll an opponent's die, then turn one of their dice to any side, then remove one of their dice. Wow, that's very powerful. Very powerful indeed. Rancorous. Event. Play only if you have one or more character dice showing a blank, remove a die. And Rex's Blaster Pistol. It's an upgrade weapon. While this upgrade is on Rex, your copies of it are non-unique. After you activate attached character, if you control the battlefield, you may activate one of your characters. So 2 melee, 2 range, plus 2 range, 2 indirect, 1 shield, 1 resource. Cool character. Cool stuff. So that die is legendary. So we have another legendary to join this card, this Fifth Brother's lightsaber over here. So weapons are clearly going to get some legendary status. So that's our 2 legendaries out of 17. So it's about half, 1 in every 9. We'll find out, won't we? Because this is number 18. Take the fight to them. Got this one already. Resolve any number of your dice showing damage in the order of your choice. Opening volley. Event. Play only if this is the first action of this round. Deal 3 indirect damage to an opponent. Crikey. That could come in very handy indeed. Respected Businessman. Upgrade title. After you activate attached character, you may gain 1 resource. Power from Pain. Spot 2 blue characters or Snoke to deal 1 damage to one of your characters. Then turn one of that character's character or upgrade dice to any side. Spend money to make money, as they say. Alright, an ability dice. Formidable. 5 sides. So 2 range, 1 shield, 2 shields, or 2 special abilities. Deal 1 damage to an opponent's character. If that damage was not blocked, you may move an equipment or weapon from that character to another one of that opponent's characters. See what, you can shuffle their stuff around? That's pretty cool. Number 51 in the set. That makes it another legendary. So we have 2 in a row there. So out of 18 dice now played, we have 3 legendaries. So 1 in every 6. So that bodes quite well for the second half of this box. Alright, let's start the second half. Number 19. Right, so let's begin the second half of this box. Quarrel. Force an opponent to choose to either lose 1 resource or discard a card from their hand. I feel like I've had this one already, so I'm going to pop it on the side here. Renewed Purpose, I've definitely had already. Spot a plot to draw 3 cards. Quell, definitely had already. Remove all of an opponent's dice showing indirect damage. Lack of Faith, I don't have this one. Oh, look at that. It's a wonderful, wonderful bit of artwork there. Spot a blue character that has 15 or more points to remove all of a character's character dice. Wow. And Ezra Bridger, Aspiring Jedi. 8 points to play. 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 resource. Power action. If this character has 1 or more upgrades, draw a card, or 2 cards instead if he has 3 or more upgrades. He is number 54 in the set, which makes him a rare. So he joins his rare buddies, including the Fifth Brother. They'll get along like a house on fire. Machine Replacement. Play an upgrade from your hand on a character, then heal 1 damage from that character. I'm pretty sure I've had that one already, so I'm going to work on the assumption that I have. Dark Empowerment. Definitely haven't had this one. Exhaust this support and remove one of your dice showing a blank to deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. Very cool. Way of the Light. Oh, an Ahsoka picture. Remove a non-hero die. Climate Disruption Array I've definitely seen. Exhaust this support to deal 2 indirect damage to each player, starting with you. And Trusted Informant is a character, Scoundrel. After you activate this character, you may look at an opponent's hand. 2 melee, 2 indirect, 1 discard, 1 resource, and plus 1 resource. 91 in the set. And that is a rare. It's number 21. Peace and Quiet. Event. Turn a die to a side showing a value of 0. Blanks and specials have a value of 0. Extract. Choose up to 3 cards in the discard pile and set them aside. I've seen this one already. Narrow Escape. Play only if you have no other cards in your hand to remove a die. Boonta Eve Classic. Plot cards. After you resolve one of your Pod Racer dice, you may place 1 resource on that Pod Racer. If there are 4 or more resources on it, set each copy of this plot aside and gain 4 resources. Another Jedi character. Marvellous. Plo Koon. 10 points to play. 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 focus, 1 shield and 1 resource. This character has the abilities of each non-unique character you have in play. Very cool indeed. So he is number 57. And his rarity is rare. Next one up is number 22. Overload. Coming on down to Overload. Event. Place 1 damage on a support in play, then you may discard that support if it has damage on it equal to or more than its cost. Undermine. Event. Move up to 2 dice showing a blank. I've had that one already. In the Crosshairs. Event. Ambush. Choose a symbol, then remove any number of dice showing that symbol. Dumb Luck. Spot a yellow character or a Gungan to re-roll up to 5 of your dice, then deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of dice that just rolled a blank. That's very thematic, I like that. And Electropole. Upgrade weapon. Before attached character would be defeated, you may move this upgrade to a Gungan, return this die to this card. 2 melee with a resource, 2 disrupt, 1 shield and 1 resource. That is number 85 in the set, and judging by the weapons. Oh no, it's a rare. Okay, I thought it might be a legendary because so far all the legendaries have been weapons or upgrades. Alright, let's see how we get on with number 23. What drove Jim Carrey mad? Overload. Event. Place 1 damage on a support in play, and then you may discard that support if it has damage on it equal to or more than its cost. I've had this one already. Definitely seen that. Steadfast. Event. Move 1 damage from one of your blue characters to another character, or 2 damage instead if no cards are in your discard pile. This ignores shields. It's a new one to me. Narrow Escape I've seen before. Play only if you have no other cards in your hand to remove a die. Boonta Eve Classic I've seen, it's a plot card. After you resolve one of your Pod Racer dice, you may place 1 resource on that Pod Racer. If there are 4 or more resources on it, set each copy of this plot aside and gain 4 resources. And the dice is Count Dooku's Solar Sailor. After you activate the support, you may draw a card. It's got 2 focus again, 1 shield, 2 shields, or 2 resources. Number 13 in the set, and the rarity on that one is a rare. Still, it goes nicely with Count Dooku. There's a lot of... It bodes well for me that there's a lot of these that combine with characters. So there's been a Pod Racer. Maybe Sebulba on the cards. So, number 24. Weapon Master. I've had this one already. Remove one of attached character's character or upgrade dice to turn one of its weapon dice to any side. Division in the Force, I've had 2. Resolve one of your blue dice, then remove a die showing the same value as the die you just resolved. Beguile, I've had as well. Reroll an opponent's die, then turn one of their dice to any side, then remove one of their dice. Calling in Favours, I've not had before. Before you play an event that costs 3 or more, you may exhaust this plot to decrease its cost by 1, or by 2 instead if you have exactly 1 character in play. Now, here's the cool part. Oh, snap! Look at that, right there. The Luke Skywalker that goes nicely with this. Reluctant Instructor Luke, 12 points. He is, it's no surprise, legendary considering he is on the picture on the box. You may resolve the shield sides of this die as if they were melee damage. And then you can see there are quite a lot of them. 1 focus, 1 shield, 2 shields, 2 shields, 1 resource. Power action to move a blue ability from this character to another blue character, so he can pass on what he has learned. Very, very cool indeed. Understandably, he's going to take pride of place just here. So far, this whole 1 in 6 thing has actually panned out quite nicely. which means there might be 2 more legendaries left to find. We'll find out soon as we hit number 25. Triple Threat event. Reroll 3 character dice, then turn one of them to any side. Dark Empowerment, I've already seen this one. Support, exhaust this support and remove one of your dice showing a blank to deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. Rigged Detonation. Play only if an opponent controls the battlefield. Deal indirect damage to that opponent equal to the number of resources they have to a maximum of 5. That can be very handy if you need to turn the tide. Start your engines. Search your deck for a pod racer, reveal it and add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. And a 5th brother. I've doubled up on him, I believe. Yes, I have. So 1 melee, 2 melee, 1 discard, 1 resource, and 1 special ability, which resolves one of your non-ability blue upgrade dice without removing it from your pool. He is number 2 in the set, and I'm fairly sure he is rare. He is indeed. So up here, my duplicated rare dice. So, we move on. 26. Reconstruct. Add a support from your discard pile to your hand. Don't have that one. Righteous Cause. Pretty sure I have this one. Move 1 damage from one of your cards to another one of your cards in play of the same type, ignoring shields. Rigged Detonation. I already have. Play only if your opponent controls the battlefield. Deal indirect damage equal to the number of resources they have to a maximum of 5. Scoping the target. If you have 5 or more different symbols showing on your dice, deal 2 damage to a character. Or, if you have 10 or more different symbols showing on the dice, defeat a character. That could come in very handy indeed. Now, number 100, this is particularly nice. Ability. That's an uncommon. Okay. V1 Thermal Detonator. Upgrade weapon. Discard this upgrade from play to deal 2 damage to each of an opponent's characters. That's twice on the dice that appears. And the other ones are 1 disrupt and 1 discard. 145. I would imagine that's a rare. It certainly is. So it becomes number 19 of my rares. So, number 27. Reconstruct. Add a support from your discard pile to your hand. I've had this one. Honed Skills. Each of your characters can have 1 additional upgrade. Nice. And a Kanan Jarrus picture to be reckoned with. Beautiful. Way of the Light event. Remove a non-hero die. I've seen this one already. Defensive Racing event. Play only if one of more of your vehicle dice was removed during an opponent's last turn this round. Spot a yellow character to roll one of those removed dice into your pool. I don't think I've seen this one. And Cassian Andor. I'm happy about this one because I love a bit of Cassian. He's one of my favourite characters in Star Wars, certainly in the Disney era. So, 10 points, 1 range, 2 range damage, 1 discard, another discard or resource. After you resolve this die, you may deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent or discard the top card of a deck. Number 90. So I believe that's a particularly rare one. Legendary. He is legendary. So we're 3/4 of the way through the box. So far, some really cool stuff's come out of this. Number 28. So we're into the last quarter of the box. Ammo reserves. After you play the support, place 3 damage on it. Exhaust this support and remove 1 damage from it to deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent. I have so much ammo reserves, it's not even funny. I'm more like a warlord. Steadfast event, I've seen this one. Move 1 damage from one of your blue characters to another character, or 2 instead if no cards are in your discard pile, ignoring shields. Mechanical Insight, I'm pretty sure I've seen this one. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a droid or pod racer, reveal it and add it to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in the order of your choice. Control, turn all dice to sides of your choice. Wow, that's a very cool ability. 4 resources to use though, so I'm not surprised. Lotho Minor Junkers. So there's support. Set aside a droid, equipment, vehicle or weapon in your discard pile to gain 2 resources. 2 range damage, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, and 2 of the special abilities here. 2 resources to use. 152 in the set, I would imagine would make it rare. I am indeed correct. It's been known every now and then for me to be correct, you know? Number 29. Glancing Shot, event. Resolve one of your dice showing damage, decreasing its value by 1, then remove a die. Don't think I've seen this one. Righteous Cause I've definitely seen. Recognise the Jyn Erso picture. Ambush, move 1 damage from one of your cards to another one of your cards in play of the same type. Closing the deal. Don't think I've seen this one. Gain 5 resources. You must pass all of your future turns this round. Mars Esper Arena, I've definitely seen. Force an opponent to choose to either lose 1 resource or have you gain 1 resource. Spot a pod racer to force them to do both. And Gungan Catapult. After you activate a Gungan, you may reroll this die. 4 sides, 2 range damage, 4 indirect, 6 indirect with 2 resources, and 3 disrupt for 4 resources to play. Crikey. 82 on the set. That's got to be a rare, I would think. Yep. I'm starting to get a handle of what these colours mean on the dice, on the cards and the dice. Testing procedure. Activate up to 2 of your supports. Then if any of those support dice just roll damage, gain 1 resource. I'm not sure I've seen this one, so I'm going to assume not. I'll double check in the roundup. Torment Upgrades. After attached character is dealt damage, you may exhaust this upgrade to gain 1 resource. Oh wow, that's a beautiful Kylo Ren picture to go with it as well. 1 resource to use. Friend or foe I've definitely seen. Event card. Reroll the character die, then if it just rolled damage, deal 1 damage to that character, otherwise give it 1 shield. Flames of the Past. Gorgeous artwork on this one. Discard a card from play if there is a copy of that card in any discard pile. And Bo-Katan Kryza? Death Watch Lieutenant. Very cool indeed. You can include yellow villain upgrades in your deck, even though she's a hero. So for the special ability, which appears once on the dice, deal 2 damage to a character or 3 damage instead if this character has 1 or more villain upgrades. 12 points of character. 3 range damage, 2 melee damage, 1 shield, 1 resource, and the special ability mentioned, which deals 2 to a character or 3 if they have 1 or more villain upgrades. 89 in the set. That is a rare. I thought I was getting the hang of it. Apparently not. Bo-Katan, very cool indeed. Number 31. We're in the home stretch, in the last 6th of the box. Hope you've enjoyed these mathematical countdowns as I go through fractions. Well armed. I've seen this one before. Choose a weapon from your hand and play it, decreasing the cost by the number of weapons on one of your characters. Ah, Porgs. Nature's Charm. Reroll up to 2 dice, yours and or an opponent's. By Any Means. I've seen this one too. Still haven't learned the name of the droid. Remove a die showing a value of 2 or more, then deal 1 indirect damage to yourself. Suppressive Fire I've also seen. After a character is activated, you may spend 1 resource and discard the support from play to remove one of its character dice. And Bardotan Sphere. Upgrade 2 special abilities, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, 1 resource. Discard the top card of a deck. If its card's cost is an odd number, deal 1 damage to a character. Number 14 in the set, and that has a rarity of rare. So that goes with my rares. Logic dictates that of the remaining 5, I should have 1 more legendary to come. 32. Reposition. I've seen this one before. Force an opponent to turn a die to any side, then you turn a different die to any side. Opening Volley. I've definitely seen this one. Play only if this is the first action of this round. Deal 3 indirect damage to an opponent. Very nice indeed. Narrow Escape. I've seen. Event. Play only if you have no other cards in your hand to remove a die. Home Turf Advantage. I definitely haven't seen this one yet. Bring 2 battlefields to the game. During your setup, if your battlefield would be chosen for the game, you choose one of your 2 battlefields instead, set the other one aside. Okay, so you have a little more freedom on which battlefield you choose. And Captain Rex. He's Clone Captain, Leader, Trooper. 1 range damage, 2 range damage, 2 indirect damage, 1 focus, and 1 resource. Before you activate this character, you may spend 1 resource or spot a clone trooper to take control of the battlefield. Number 74, I have a feeling this is going to be a legendary. Indeed it is. It might be my last, based on the theory I'm working on, that it's 1 in 6. So, how many remain? 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Number 33. Grand Entrance Event. Activate one of your characters. Reroll any number of its character and upgrade dice, then reroll any number of its character and upgrade dice. Okay, nice. That's pretty cool. So, very nice artwork as well. 1 resource to use that one. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that one yet, so I'm going to assume I haven't. Free Fall. Ambush. Force an opponent to remove one of their die. I've definitely seen this one. Mechanical Insight. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a droid or pod racer, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in order of your choice. Crush Hope. Oh wow, the Inquisitor. Play only if an opponent has 1 or more dice showing a blank. Discard any number of cards from your hand to deal that much indirect damage to that opponent. Crikey. And finally, Jedi Sentinel. So this is a double up, but it's a generic one, so it doesn't really matter. After setup, give a character 1 shield, and the special ability, which appears once on the dice, to deal 2 damage to a character, or 3 instead if this character has 3 or more shields. 1 melee, 2 melee, and a resource. 1 shield, 1 resource, and the special ability mentioned. 55 is a rare, we know this, because we've already seen it. I'm going to take a guess at the last 3. I haven't seen what's on this one, number 34 yet. I'm going to take a guess that there's 1 more rare and 2 that I'm going to double up on. I don't know why, just a thought. Change of Fate event. I've seen this card. So that is choose any number of dice, force an opponent to turn each of those dice to sides of their choice. Propel. Turn the character die to any side, upgrade die to any side, support die to any side. I've definitely seen that one too. Cocky. Seen that one. Spot a yellow character to have each player choose and discard 2 cards from their hand, starting with you. Dex's Diner. Support location. Exhaust this support and spend 1 resource to heal 1 damage from a character, or 2 damage instead if there are 6 or more damage to that character. Very cool. Dex's Diner makes an appearance in Destiny. And the dice card is the N1 Starfighter, so it's 5 sides, 2 range damage, 3 indirect, 2 shields, 1 resource, or a special. Ready or discard an exhausted vehicle that is not a copy of this support. Number 103, that is going to be a rare. Now, my theory is the last 2 cards, dice cards I should say, the ones that come with dice, are going to double up. I have a thought on why this might be. Number 35. Glancing Shot. I've seen this one already. Resolve 1 of your dice showing damage, decreasing its value by 1, then remove a die. Comtower Scarif, I've seen. Claim to resolve 1 of your dice, increasing its value by 1 if you spot a plot. Under Attack. Haven't seen this one yet. Remove any number of an opponent's dice showing damage, then deal indirect damage to yourself equal to the combined value showing on those dice. Long-Term Plan. I don't think I have this one. I'm not sure. Again, this is going to be something I'm going to have to double check in the breakdown at the end. Exhaust this plot to place 1 resource on it, or to resolve 1 of your dice, increasing its value by the number of resources on this plot. I'm wrong. There is no try. Action. Reroll this die. Then you may resolve it, increasing its value by 1, otherwise remove it. So it's 1 melee, 2 melee and a resource, 1 focus, 2 shields and a resource, or 1 resource. Number 70. That is a rare. More importantly, it's not a double, so I'm wrong. Number 36, the last one. Yep, definitely the last one. Peace and Quiet. Turn a die to a side showing a value of 0. Blanks and specials include. I've already got that one. Torment, I have that as well. After attached character is dealt damage, you may exhaust this upgrade to gain 1 resource. Nefarious Deed, that's a new one. Ambush. Move 1 damage from an opponent's card to another card in play, ignoring shields. That's kind of the equivalent of Jin. I forget what the name of the card was. Start your engine. Search your deck for a pod racer, reveal it and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Got that one already. Pod racer. Oh, what are the odds? 5 sides, 1 indirect, 2 indirect, 1 disrupt, 1 discard, and 1 shield. Ambush. After this die rolls a blank, return this support from play to its owner's hand. So that's once it. Oh wow! If you roll a blank, you can't. You have to basically tap it back out and bring it back in later. Interesting. Well, that's going to be a rare, isn't it? It's 153. We'll just confirm. Indeed, a rare. So that's the box empty. Now I'm going to cut, jump, quick 2, and so on, and kind of break down what the contents of the box are and what it means. So watch it change. Okay, so here are the contents of my box, and you can see I think I did pretty well. You know, I got out of the 36 dice, I only doubled up on 4 of them, so 1 in 9 of them was a double. 1 of those was generic, so it doesn't really matter that much. And of the remaining ones, I got 26 rare ones and 6 legendaries. So 1 in 6 of them were legendaries. I had a theory at one point that I was going to pull another 2 doubles, and it would be 1 in every 6 was doubled up, and then 1 in every 6 was legendary. Kind of add a bit of danger, but it's actually even less than that. It's 1 in 9 doubled up, and then 1 in 6 legendary. So that's a pretty cool ratio. Card-wise, I would say, I mean, I'll bring them up so you can see sort of comparison. So this is an approximation because there may be some that I doubled up on that didn't realise. I'd say it's probably just shy of 2 to 1 in non-doubled versus doubled. So I probably got about half again back in doubles. So 180 in the box, I would say. So probably looking at 60 or so doubles. But realistically, I think that's fantastic. I think it's a really great haul there. Most notably, I got 2 of the ones that are on the box in terms of these 2 here. I got Cassian, who's round, I think round the side, and most importantly, very cool indeed, I got some characters I really like. So I got myself Captain Rex, a couple of weapons. So the Fifth Brother's lightsaber and Rex's blaster go together quite nicely with those characters. I got one of the Fifth Brothers. In fact, I got 2, but obviously you can only probably use 1. Formidable upgrade, the little Mando on the thing, probably Django. And then I got Cassian Andor, who's a favourite character of mine from Rogue One, and Luke Skywalker, who's a favourite of mine from the original trilogy, obviously. So, you know, I would be hazard a guess that he is the rarest one in the set, bearing in mind that, say, he's the one on the box. Although there is also a Snoke in this box, who I believe is also similarly legendary. So, I think overall that is a great haul, and I think that, you know, people pulling from these have a pretty good chance, so a 1 in 6 chance of pulling something legendary based on this box, and a 1 in, you know, if you're buying a lot, you're going to get 1 in 9 doubles, but you really have to end up with a box like I have here, and then the rest of them are going to be rares of varying qualities. So, you know, there's some cool ones in there. There's the Fifth Brother, there's Dooku, there's Bo-Katan, and then there's Boss Nass and Jedi Sentinels, there's Plo Koon and his Starfighter, there's Ezra Bridger, Luke's Lightning Rod, so you can combine that up if you get the Luke, Governor Price. Very cool indeed. So, thank you for watching the E14 Toybox Way of the Force booster unboxing. I've been Rob, and goodbye for now. May the Force be with you.